Well, hey folks, this is Sir Instructor Ron. I want to do a short video on one of my favorite subjects, light. Well, the reason I'm bringing it up tonight is because not my electricity's gone out, but it could happen to any time for any reason. But we have thunderstorms tonight, so sometimes during thunderstorms it goes out for a short period of time, not very long, but what if it does? So tonight I want to cover those options with you and some of my best resources that I use for lighting. Give me a moment. I'm going to go actually turn on the lights so we don't look like we're getting ready to tell a scary story. Well, it is pretty scary when your lights go out and you trip over things and, well, hurt yourself. Alright. I almost said that in the dark. I almost tripped over the fan. Okay. Alright, folks. So, I'm going to show you some of my favorite options for flashlights and lights and different things. One of them is this light. It's made by Pelican. It actually glows in the dark, so it's always going to be able to be found as long as I leave it in some place where I can see it. So I normally do that. This is what I carry if I do any search and rescue or camp or anything. You set it down or it drops out of your pocket, you're always going to be able to find it. So not only that, this flashlight is waterproof, I think, for a meter or two. So, it's a perfect light for search and rescue and to keep for camping and whatever else you might do. Uses 3 AA batteries, pretty bright, has 3 modes. So definitely a flashlight I'd recommend if you can find it. If you can find anything glow in the dark, that's great because sometimes you might be sitting there watching TV when the lights go out and, well, you can't see anything. So that's one of the lights that I would definitely recommend to you. There's a lot of different lights out there, and I have different ones. There's advantages and disadvantages. This is an LED. This light will probably burn 20, 30 hours, depending upon what setting you put it on. Puts out plenty of light to see what you're doing. The only disadvantage to it is it runs on batteries, so you want to make sure that you've got those batteries around. The biggest mistake a lot of us make on using something like this or other things, even flashlights, anything that takes a battery, we don't change them out that often. You want to change them out at least once a year, I would say. About the time your storm season starts, whatever it is. If you have ice storms, whatever dangers you might run into that cause your electricity to go off for long periods of time, always check them, make sure they're working. Now, when I was a younger guy, lights like this that ran on kerosene were kind of the go-to thing. A lot of people had kerosene lanterns or old lights like they used to have in the house. My grandmother had them, my mother had them. I had some like this. I prefer this. I felt like it was a little better light as far as durability. So a hurricane lantern. Use something like this. You just got to be very, very careful. Make sure that if you do have a problem with it falling over and starting a fire, that you have a definite way to put it out. So make sure you look into some of that and get a fire extinguisher. Make sure it's rated right.
Channel, get a status update on that storm that's right above me. Now around.
Those are my guys again on weather. Another light that I would highly recommend. Now this one is totally waterproof. It will float. It is solar powered. I can leave this thing sitting out. The ambient light in the room will charge this thing. I never set it out in the sun. I haven't since I've had it. Totally waterproof. If you want something that's good, it's reliable. It's got 3 settings. This particular one's made by Lucy. There are some that you can buy that actually have a charger to it so that you can charge your things like cell phones. Let me turn these guys down just for a second. Another way we use Zello is everybody wants to know what's going on around them, so we're able to give our guys updates on the weather. So again, another plug for Zello. Good reason to have it. We know who's where and what's going on, and we can get updates. So. Alright, now, I'm going to share this light with you. This is a fishing light, runs on 3 AA batteries. I don't know if you can still find it. If you can, great. I'd highly advise you to get one. They're pretty bright. It's a green colored, and the reason that I like this light is that it doesn't draw the bugs like the white light does. So this is something I can hang up, and again, this one is totally waterproof. It doesn't matter the conditions that you're in. I have seen these lights left on for a week at a time. It did not run the batteries down. So they were good batteries. They were Duracell type batteries. So this is a long lasting option for a light that you may need. This will light up we'll say a 10 by 10 room pretty decently well. You can see your way around. You can read by it if you need to. All you simply have to do is just twist it off and on. So something like this one particular one's made by Berkeley. If you can find a light like this, I'd highly recommend it. If you're going to be in an area where you're really concerned with things like mosquitoes or moths flying into your face or your mouth or whatever up your nose, if you got a big nose like me. So something like this is really good. The green light doesn't draw the bugs in. So those are my best options on lights that I have. My preferred method is probably going to be this light, but you know, I have a lot of flashlights and different lights, so I've always got batteries. This is probably going to be my last option, just because of the dangers involved. We didn't think about those things years ago when people were using kerosene lanterns when the lights went out. It was the only option. It was either that or candles, so you're talking open flame. But now we do have things that are much more safer than what we had back then, like LED. So I would definitely suggest using something like an LED light. I'd like to hear your comments, your questions, your concerns on what you like to use when the lights go out. If you haven't thought about it, well, you better think about it because it could happen at any time for any reason. I remember when they had the week-long blackout in New York back in the early part of, I think it was 2003, something like that. So people were without electricity for a week. It could happen to you due to many things: ice storms, thunderstorms, tornadoes, who knows. But be prepared. These are some of the options out there. I've got a little bit of everything, but like I said, my preferred method is something that's safe. And that's what I advise you to do. Well, as always, I'd like to hear your comments. Please like and subscribe. And again, download Zello and use it. Have a wonderful day and be safe out there.